You're muted.
All right, sorry about that. For those that don't know me, my name is Alex Sumner, President and CEO. Thanks for hopping on tonight. We know everyone's time is valuable, and we appreciate you guys all hopping on. This will be about 45 minutes. We'll try to speed it up as much as possible. We do have a chat system that is available. So if you have any questions during this meeting, please go ahead and use that chat system, and we'll answer questions at the end. I have Jesse Radloff with me too. He's our Director of League Operations. He'll be here to explain any rules and chime in when needed. We also have Zach Frazier and Scott Kravinoff, who's also on our staff. Scott will talk anything tournaments if there's questions on that, and Zach is our Assistant Director of League Operations. We will be posting this on our website as well. It is recorded. So if any coaches or anybody that you know is not on, they can find this video on our coaches page on our website. Just a little introduction. We did send out a coaches packet, which is also on our website. If you have a chance to look at it, great. There's things in there like benchmarks, our rules, the agenda for today. Hope everybody had a chance to look at that. If we do not get to any some of your questions by the end, please email info@FargoYouthBaseball, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. As you guys all know, we do have a new website. This is a brand new thing for us. It's a great website. We're still learning it though, so thank you all for your patience as we work through some of the kinks. I promise you, after this year, it will be as seamless as possible for you. Kind of talking about the agenda, we'll go over what our mission is and philosophy, introduce our staff and board of directors, what is the Red River Valley League, your roles as a coach, the communication, fields and facilities, what to do during game days, and then, like I said before, Jesse will talk about the rules. So Fargo Youth Baseball, for those that are new in our program, we are a nonprofit 501c3. We base each and every decision off of kids first. The objective of our program is to implement good sportsmanship, honesty, loyalty, respect, and teach the fundamentals of baseball to ensure proper player and coach development. When it comes to any player coach development and you need new drills or anything like that, please reach out to us. We also have some cool links on our website, like USA Baseball mobile app. Highly recommend downloading that. Little League and Babe Ruth, they both have some instructional videos and kind of help with the creativity of your practice planning. Going into our staff, I introduced everybody before. Our board of directors, some of them might be on here today. Eric Grandy is our board chair. Dan Sen is our vice chair. Kent Christensen is our secretary treasurer. And then we have some at-large members: Chad Jaroszewski, Wayne Wermeyer, Jeff Gould, Mike Rurick, Darren Dunlop, and Bill Eibach. New this year that we're gonna reach out to people is a member committee. So for anyone that's looking to get more involved in our program outside of coaching and want to help with whether it's player development, assist with tournaments, special events, sponsorships, please email me at alex@fargoyouthbaseball.com. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities ahead of us, so more help the better. Again, if you are interested in getting more involved, please send me an email at alex@fargoyouthbaseball.com. Talking about the Red River Valley League. So the Red River Valley League is a competitive baseball league which allows communities from North Dakota and Minnesota to play our great pastime sport. Fargo Youth Baseball serves as the headquarters of the Red River Valley League. The communities that participate in it are Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead, DGF, Barnesville, and then we also have in the older division, we have Kindred, Castleton, Lemoore, Lisbon, and Rothsay. One thing that you'll get an email on in the future is for anyone that's interested in playing outside of Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead. A lot of these other towns would like to host some games. So if you are looking for a different scene and different fields to play on, please let us know and we can align those games for you. Like I said, the majority of the games will be played in Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead. Season start dates. So our 6 and under, they will play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now start May 10th. Our 7s will play Monday and Wednesday on May 8th. Our 8s play Tuesday and Thursday starting May 8th. Our 10U, so 9 and 10-year-old divisions will be Tuesday, Thursday, and that will start on May 4th. Our 12Us will be Monday and Wednesday, and that'll start on April 26th. Our 13s, they'll play double headers, which is Monday or Wednesday, and they'll start after the junior high and high school season ends. So that's May 24th, along with the 14, 15s, and that'll be Tuesday or Thursday, which will also start after the high school junior high season. Talking about your roles as a coach. So we have a coach's checklist on our website with the USA Baseball certification. We do require the head coach to get those certifications. And we need every coach or anyone that's planning on helping out at practices, games, what have you, to do a background check. That is mandatory. So if you plan on any of your parents helping out, please direct them to our website under the coaches page, and there's a link there for a background check. Communication to your team. That's going to be one big thing that we ask you guys to do is keep your parents in the know and your players in the know of what's going on. That's one of the main things that a coach can fail at, is not having strong communication to your team. So we highly recommend doing email. We'll talk about Game Changer Team Manager, which you can do all communication through there, and it does sync through our website. So we'll talk about that here soon.
Can I say one thing here on that too, Alex? So as far as communication to your team, you guys have a lot going on, especially if you're a head coach. You guys have a lot going on and enough to do. I highly, highly recommend during one of your parent meetings, which Alex is going to get to here next, is try to find maybe a quote unquote team manager and have them take some of that responsibility on for you so they can send out any information that you have or need to send out. So that just a recommendation for anybody that's done this in the past. I know that they find that very beneficial to them, and it takes a lot off of their shoulders. So go ahead, Alex.
Going along with the communication to your team, like Jesse said, the parent meetings. Try to set up a parent meeting before any of your games. Let them know your expectations. If you need help with like a team manager for the communication for your team throughout the season, so you can focus on coaching, that's the time to do it. Also implement a 24-hour rule. That 24-hour rule is very important. The last thing that you as a coach want to deal with is an upset parent. Ask them to wait 24 hours before making any comments. People say things that they wish they didn't say in the heat of the moment. And that's why we put this 24-hour rule in. And please let them know, even with the office, if they have an issue, to please wait that 24 hours before even contacting the office. And same with you as coaches. Take that 24-hour rule if something happens with an umpire or another team's coach or anything along that. Wait that 24 hours and then bring it up then. When it comes to practice planning, I briefly talked about it. USA Baseball has a great mobile app where you can do practice planning, add different drills, and create your own plan right from that app. Cal Ripken, Babe Ruth, they also have great tools along with Little League. And then utilize us. We're a very baseball-minded staff, and we're very knowledgeable. We've all coached at a pretty high level. And utilize us if you need to get creative on any new drills, hitting, defense, pitching, anything along those lines. In that coaches packet, we did send in their benchmarks, and what the benchmarks is it's for each age on things that need to be worked on to ensure your player is being developed properly. There's things, the basics of hitting, defense, pitching, six-step program, which is just basically your warm up for pregame. And then there's a coach pitch plan as well. And this can be all found on the website. If you are interested in any additional training, Dynasty Performance and Sanford Power, they do take on the speed and agility for our program. So if you are interested, they do have a reduced rate. Please reach out to them. If you need help with that, please let our office know, and we can point you in the right direction. There is an equal playing time rule. This is mainly for the 12 and unders, but it's a 2-inning rule. So make sure that your players are getting in at least 2 innings every game. Obviously, that's the minimum. We want them to play more. There are different factors that take place, such as time limit, 10-run rule, things along those lines. So do the best you can. But to ensure our player development, we just want to make sure that everyone is getting that equal playing time. Along with that, And Jesse will briefly talk about that in the rules is moving your players around. You shouldn't have a full-time shortstop. You shouldn't have a full-time catcher. Utilize different positions and help build that athleticism within your players. And you'll see that as your kids get older, that once you get to that high school and Legion level, that you might be playing again, or you might be playing with kids that are 2, 3, even 4 years older than your player. And if he only knows the shortstop position, it's not gonna benefit him, and he might lose out on some playing time because he doesn't know that other position. So move them around a lot, build that athleticism, build the player development, and your players and families will be extremely happy with that. When it comes to sportsmanship, I can't stress this enough. We strive on sportsmanship, so teaching your kids not to throw the bats, or if they strike out, not toss their helmets or yell at an umpire, and same with coaches. Try to be as positive as possible. Our players feed off how you act as a coach. So if you're yelling at the umpire, the only thing your players are going to focus on is how bad that umpire is. If your one player isn't throwing strikes and you're yelling at them, people are only focusing on that and they're not learning. So when it comes to sportsmanship, make sure that all around that we are promoting good sportsmanship. When it comes to profanity, absolutely not. No tobacco, no profanity. Keep everything PG, and again, it's going to make you a better coach, to make your players better, and it's going to give your families a better experience. And absolutely no tolerance for our umpires. We do have young umpires, and we are working on training programs, but they have to start somewhere. And so they're going to make calls that are going to be wrong. The best way to handle it is go up there, ask a question to them, call time, ask a question if you need to. Don't yell at them across the field. That doesn't help anybody out. And again, it doesn't promote good sportsmanship. So there's zero tolerance when it comes to that. And we do in that coaches packet have that policy that's in place. So please read that. So then, if you do get kicked out of a game, there are consequences that go along with that. At no point should any of our coaches be kicked out of any game. All communication that you'll get from us will typically be through email or the website and social media outlets. Now that with our new website, we do have Game Changer, so we can actually send an email just to your team through that app. Again, everything's going to be through email. If we do need to make a phone call, it'll come from our office. But try to keep everything email, and we'll answer it as fast as we can. When it comes to rainouts, we will post all the rainouts on the website and social media by 4 p.m. Please tell your parents during that parent meeting not to call the office wondering if games are on. Typically the Park District will make that call for most of the fields, and along with the West Fargo and Moorhead Park District. So we don't know until they let us know. So if we haven't made an announcement, that means games are still on as scheduled. And if it gets past that 4 o'clock time, then it'll be up to the coaches and the umpires to make the call then. There will be a schedule, our tentative schedule will be posted here shortly. For the 12 and unders, they'll come out first, being they start sooner. And then if you go back to the start dates, that's the order that will release the schedule. When you get that game manager app, they will automatically sync to that app, so you can see everything there along with our website. Uniforms will be available by game 1. Sometimes they come in about a week early, but it's pretty rare. Usually it is the week of when games happen. And the reason for that is our registration ends on the 15th of March. And then it takes us about a week or two to finalize the rosters and submit the uniforms. And then there's a 3 to 4 week grace period for them to print the uniforms. We do have 1,100 kids in our program. And so they are printing 1,100 uniforms. So thanks for your patience on that. And we get them they bust them out as fast as they can. For picture week, we will have that the week of May 24th. And Best of Times does our photos, and they will send out a schedule to us, which we will add them to our website, so then you guys know what time and where to be for those pictures. Now, if you're unable to make that time work, please reach out to Best of Times. There will be a contact number on that, and you'll have to schedule a different time with them. Going into the Game Changer Team Manager app. So once the rosters were posted for the 12 and unders, and if you haven't gotten already, you will get a link to do Game Changer. This will also be on our website, so if you need help with it, please go there first, and you can send an email if it's not being active to your phone. But these are the steps. So again, the PowerPoint will be on the website, so go back to the website and look and find this. But these are the steps that it takes. First, the coach and team staff will be allocated to the roster, which we will do on our end. And then once you get notification that you've been, it'll be labeled as a team personnel. Then you'll go on the app. There'll be a plus sign in the top right corner, and you click on that and hit create team. And it'll ask you for your age, and then it'll show what team that you've been allocated for a team personnel. And you click on that team. And when you do that, it will send a notification to all of your parents, letting them know to download this app, and you can do communication right through there.
A couple things here, Alex. There are two quick things I want to say on this. So many of you might be familiar with Game Changer. This one is Game Changer Team Manager. So there is a difference. This one is fully integrated with our website. The app color is green for this one. The one that you're probably familiar with is white. So you're going to want to download the Game Changer Team Manager. It's green. That's the app you want. So just make sure you're doing that. Again, that's the one that's fully integrated. If someone's using the white one, they will not have access to this. The other thing is when Alex is talking about sending this out to the coaches and whatnot, because you actually need to approve your team first before your parents can actually accept their spot on the team and be able to see this on the app. If you have not done so, please go back into your account on our website. When you log into your account, on the left-hand side, you'll see a volunteer button. It'll be on your left side. Please click that and click head coach or assistant coach or team manager. We need you all to do that so we can add you as a coach to each team, so you're able to get access to this via the app.
And some of you selected that when you registered, but just double check real fast. Log in, it'll take a couple seconds, and you can go from there. So fields and facilities, so game and practice sites, including batting cages. So typically, when it comes to practices, it's first come, first serve on the fields. You'll see on our website when you go to, if you find the schedule, what fields are being used. So mainly your practices are going to have to be those neighborhood fields, just due to how many teams we have in the Red River Valley League. And then we do have batting cages throughout town. So we have Centennial Elementary. There's a batting cage there. McKinley up north. There's a batting cage there, and at Brunsdale Park. And as of last week, the Fargo Public Schools did gift us a batting cage at Bennett Elementary. So we are working on upgrading that right now, putting our lock on there. In order to get into the batting cage, there is a lock on there. That lock combination is 1892. Again, that's 1892. That is the address of the attic. So if you can't figure out, if you don't remember what the lock combination is, it is the address to our indoor facility. When it comes to our indoor facility, we give you access to our online scheduling tool. If you don't have access to that right now, please reach out to us, and Scott in our office will grant you access. When it comes to reserving our indoor facilities, you get one practice per week, no more than 3 cages at a time. Typically from 5 to 9 o'clock is when it's busy, and with about 100 teams, it does get a little tight and hard to get into. So we ask that one practice per week, no more than 3 cages at a time. However, within 48 hours, so say, for example, today is Thursday. If you do see on Friday or Saturday that there's open time, you are able to grab that time. So anything within 48 hours is a first come, first serve. When it comes to game day, so you'll arrive at the field enough time to get loose before the game. It does say flip a coin to see who is home and away. That actually, we just found out today on our website with the scheduling tool, you will be designated who's home and who's away. And you'll have, it should be basically, so if you have 20 games, you'll have 10 away and 10 home, roughly around. And so that will be, you'll see that. So the coin flip necessarily doesn't need to happen. Each team must provide a game balls. So you'll get the game balls with your equipment pickup. If you don't have them, then you'll get them with your uniform pickup. All coaches must submit scores to Scores at Fargo Youth Baseball. That just keeps it so we can stay up with the standings and keep entering scores. If you do it on a Game Changer app, I'm almost positive that it will automatically update for us. But just to make sure, please, the winner of the game send scores at fargoyouthbaseball.com. For our 5 and 6 year old program, we don't keep scores, so you don't have to worry about that. So we have scoreboards at Thorolson Little League Complex. So if you are playing at the complex, we are going to keep those running during league nights. So the third base dugout will be responsible for the scoreboard and running it. When it's a Fargo versus a non-Fargo team, then the Fargo team is responsible for operating the scoreboard. So during the parent meeting, ask if there's anyone that's interested in doing that, or if you want to grab somebody out of the stands to see if they want to do it. That'd be great. We'll have instructions on how to operate it, but we would like to utilize those scoreboards as much as possible this year. When it comes to tournaments, so we don't have a end of season tournament with our league. However, we do have we call it the NIT tournament, and the NIT tournament is for all players that aren't on a travel team. That typically travel teams, they have that state tournament atmosphere and they get a chance to play in a state tournament. Well, this is what we do for our recreation and our league teams is we want to give them that state tournament feel. Last year we had 117 teams that participated in the NIT, all the way from ages 8 to 15, and it's a fun tournament. It's a great way to end the year. You see the dates on here. You can sign up for this tournament on our website. If you have any questions on it, you can either email the info email account or email Scott at Fargo Youth Baseball, and he can help you out. The entry fee is $160 for 12 and under, and then $210 for 13 and over. For the 11 and 12-year-olds, we do have a Little League All-Star process. So we do have a committee that helps with the selection of it. We ask our coaches to send us nominations of who they think would best represent Fargo and represent their team for the All-Star process. And then what we do is we have a showcase for anyone that's interested in participating. After that showcase, we do the selection. For the 12-year-olds, there's you'll have additional games, state tournament, and then a road to Williamsport. So if you win that state tournament, then you go to Indiana and play at the Midwest region tournament, which is displayed on ESPN. For the 11-year-olds, you'll have just additional games in the state tournament and probably 1 or 2 other tournaments to go along with it. And it just kind of gears you up for your 12-year-old season. But the road to Williamsport, we've had pretty good success at that tournament. We almost made it to the World Series one year, and we came close the following year. It's a great opportunity, and it's a lot of fun for those who haven't had a chance to experience it. We'll go right into game rules. So I'm going to share a new screen, and Jesse's going to talk about those. Again, if you do have questions, I see some are rolling in. Use that chat system, and we'll get to those here in a little bit. So 1 second here.
Perfect. As Alex is pulling this up, I'll just start doing a little bit of talking here. So when it comes, there's a few quote unquote rules that apply to all age groups. So I'll start with those. When it comes to temperature and weather, unfortunately, we're dealing with it right now, and we may still deal with it at the beginning of the season. So just be aware that if the real feel is 40 degrees or less, we will cancel the game, and that's a pure safety thing. This follows right in line with what the high school rule is as well in North Dakota. So again, it's purely high school, or it's purely a safety factor. Again, and it also you don't want to be hitting in 40-degree weather with those bats. It'll ruin the bats real quick. So if you do start a game, if we do start the game because it is warm enough, and it happens to get, especially if you're playing a 7 o'clock game early in the season, if it does happen to drop below 40 degrees, I would ask you guys to help out with this. The umpires may not pay attention to it. I would ask you guys to help out with that as well and make that call, because if it does drop below 40 while the game is going on, we do need to stop that game. Again, it's purely a safety thing, and along with the safety portion is lightning. We've had some issues in years past where there has been some lightning and games have continued to go on. if lightning is seen, we have to stop play immediately and get off the field. And that we cannot resume play until 30 minutes after that last last visible lightning strike has been seen. Please help out with this as well with our umpires. Sometimes, they might get a little intimidated and talked into continuing to play. We don't want to have that happen. So please help out with that as well. And it may happen where we have lightning, we're in the third inning, and if that last lightning strike happens and 30 minutes pushes you over the game time limit, game's over. We're just not going to be able to finish it. It is what it is at that point. So I'm going to talk real quick. I'll go through each age group, but I'm not going to go through all the rules. You guys can read the majority of these on your own. I'm only going to talk about some of the more important ones, some of the new ones, and some of the highlighted ones that are in here. I'm going to start at 5 and 6. So 5 and 6 year olds, they actually have they do something different every night. So on game nights, your first half hour is dedicated solely to practice. There will be 2 teams there. Both teams should be practicing, and there's no deviations to this. We absolutely need to make sure that we're doing 30 minutes worth of practice because that is where the kids develop. The reason we do practice and then game on the same night for 5 and 6 is simply because we don't want the 5 and 6 year olds to have to be out at practice on another night. It's a lot for them. So we do practice for a half hour, and then the last 45 minutes is game time. The first half of the year, so the first 5 weeks, and you can see that underneath the playing time there, it's highlighted. Everybody will just start hitting off a tee. And after that, I believe June 14th, June 14th is what I've got on here. Starting June 14th, it'll be coach pitch. So coaches will pitch, and then you can read through the rest of that. But after a certain amount of pitches or swinging strikes, we'll bring the tee back out and allow the kids to continue to hit. Everybody will hit. Everybody's in the batting order, and everybody will hit the entire time. So regardless, everybody could get out that inning, but we're all going to hit at the 5 and 6 year old level. So you're going to bat the whole order, and then that's the inning will end once the last player has hit that inning. And also at the 5 and 6 year old level, highly encourage as much help as possible. You can't have enough people out there helping out. So anybody that's there that's willing to help out coach, even if they haven't signed up at this particular point, if they decide that they want to help out, please be open to that. And we also ask that when you're in the field, because you'll be pitching to your team, when you're in the field, we highly recommend. In fact, I almost would make it mandatory that all coaches are out in the field with the kids and helping them learn, where to throw the ball, what to do, and whatnot. So please get as much help as you can, because again, we're trying to develop kids as we continue to go along, and that's the whole intent. As you'll see with these rules, every year we add something a little bit different at each age group, and again, the intent behind that is to develop kids as baseball players. The other thing, and this is actually going to apply to the 7 and 8s as well. Once you get to the coach pitch halfway through the season in the 6U level, we ask that you kneel, and 35 feet is probably about good enough, but we ask that you kneel and we don't lob the ball in. Again, we want kids to start developing as baseball players, and a softball lob is not going to help anybody out. So, you can adjust the speed to the ability of the player that's hitting, but try and give them, something's coming in fairly straight. And that's why we ask you kneel. We'll provide knee pads to this 6U, 7, and 8U as well for the coaches. So we do provide that as well. But again, want to develop players as we go there. I think that's it. That's about it for the highlights for that one. 7 and 8. So we changed something a little bit this year at the 7 and 8 year old level, where we have now separated the age groups. So 7s will play their own and 8s will play their own. Each game is 6 innings, hour and a half time limit, and no inning can start after an hour and 15 minutes. Coaches will serve as umpires at this age group, so please be cognizant of that. And remember that you might be the early game and you want to keep going and playing, that there's still 2 teams waiting to play after you. At some point, you're going to be the team that's going to be playing late. You please be respectful of that time, because you don't want to be in that situation either if you happen to be playing that late one. At this point, we ask that every player does play an infield position once every 3 innings. Again, this is to Alex's point that he brought up earlier. You don't know at this point, who's going to be your starting shortstop in 10 years and whatnot. Kids need to develop. They need to learn different positions. So please try and rotate as best as possible. It'll be a traditional infield, and then everybody, and the rest of them will all be in the outfield. In addition to the outfields, please make sure your kids are staying in the grass if they're playing outfield. I understand that a lot of times the ball's not hit out there very often. It's not hit very hard. But we don't want 8 kids, 9 kids, 10 kids standing on the egg line. That's not the point behind this. Again, we're trying to teach them the game of baseball, and at some point, obviously, they're going to need to be in the outfield full time. So please follow that. Round robin batting, mandatory this at both age groups here. What that means is basically everybody that is there is in the lineup. And then at this age group, and you'll notice this will change as you get older. The inning will end. Obviously, if there's 3 outs, 4 or 5 runs are scored. The intent behind that is so, if there happens to be a potential lopsided game, we don't want one team being up there for 20 minutes and another team coming up and batting for 2 minutes. It's not developing players. It's not helping anybody out. I'll let you guys kind of read the rest of those. I don't think there's anything too big. 8U though. Yep, 8U. This is the other portion that we did change. So the first half of the year is going to be coach pitch. So basically the same as it is for 6U and 7U. However, starting on June 17th, every Thursday, which will be your second game of the week, every Thursday, we want the kids to start pitching. So the last half of the year, the kids will start pitching. If they do end up throwing 4 balls, we want the coach to still be out there. Again, we highly recommend you're still out on the field with them at this age group. The coach will step in and finish the at bat, so there's no walks. That I think is good for that one. Age 9, not a lot of new things that we've added in here per se. A lot of the same philosophies are in here. Round robin batting mandatory. Again, that means everybody is in the order. We do ask again to rotate positions. Your half inning will end with 3 outs or 7 runs on this one. The other thing to remember at the 9-year-old level, this actually follows suit with the 8s. You are pitching, the players are pitching all year. However, if there is 4 balls thrown, a coach will step in and finish the at bat. Again, the intent behind this is to not have a walk fest, and not only that, we want the kids to be able to swing the bat. It's somebody who bats 30 times a year and walks 20 times. They didn't develop as a baseball player. We need them swinging the bat, so that's why we have the coach come in after 4 balls at this age group, because again, this is the first year they've been pitching, so there's probably going to be quite a few 4-ball at bats. Please make sure you're paying attention to your pitch count. The intent behind this is safety. This is straight out of USA Baseball, and it actually falls now. USA Baseball governs Little League and Babe Ruth Baseball, and this is what their recommendations are. So please follow suit on that. Also, please keep an eye on your catchers. If you have someone who catches 4 innings in a game, you cannot put him on the mound. So make sure you're paying attention. If you got someone who catches and pitches, don't have him catch 4 innings because he cannot go to the mound. Once again, it's an arm and safety thing there. Drop through strike rule at 9 years old. I just want to be very clear on this. If there's a strike 3 and the catcher drops the ball, the batter's still out. You do not have to throw him out at first base or take him. I think that's pretty much it for that one. I will touch on this right now because this does apply now at 9 years old. This is when you will start having umpires as well. So I'm going to kind of go off of what Alex talked about here a little bit ago. Players, fans, parents, they follow your lead, guys. And so we ask that you are respectful on the field, not only to the other team, but to the umpires as well. Alex brought the point up, and it's a very solid point. A lot of these, you're going to have young kids. They're going to be new to umpiring, but this is where they learn. This is the only place they have to learn. There's no other place where they can go. There's no other younger age group. So understand that they're going to make mistakes, just like the players are going to make mistakes. Be respectful. Again, if you do feel you need to approach them, just do it in a very respectful manner. If we do run into issues, as Alex said, we will deal with those as we come up, and please abide by that 24-hour rule. Cooler heads always prevail. Once after 24 hours, if you feel it needs to be addressed, please bring it up to us. 10-year-olds, Basically, the only difference here is now we're getting closer to straight baseball. Coaches won't come in after 4 balls. Players will finish the at bat. If it's 4 balls, they walk. Pay attention to the base running rules on this one. Again, we're still trying to develop kids, and it's more so for the catchers. So just make sure that I've got about 4 or 5 bullet points highlighted. Make sure you understand those, and please abide by them. Again, there's a reason why we have them in there, and it's more from a developmental standpoint. Again, more so for the catchers. They're only in their second year of really catching from someone throwing to them. So please abide by those. Again, in KU, the drop third strike rule is not in effect. So if a catcher does drop it, batter's out. 11 and 12. Now we're pretty much almost into straight baseball. I will say, and some of you may have heard, some of you may have not, but I'll touch on it anyway. Our intent at some point is to get our 12-year-olds to be playing on 50-70, so 50-foot pitching mounts, 70-foot bases. The reason we would like to go to that is we want to start getting the players ready to transition to the larger fields. So at this point, we currently have 22 teams at the 12-year-old level in the regular Valley League. Unfortunately, we don't have 11 fields across our 3 cities that we can dedicate 2 nights a week to having 50-70. So we will still play 46-60. So just be aware of that. If you happen to hear that we may be doing that, there was some truth to that, but we just don't have a field to dedicate to it. The one thing, these 2 age groups as well, round robin batting is not mandatory here. So you can just bat your 9 or 10 with a DH. You certainly can do that. Just be aware that if you choose not to do round robin batting, that if you do substitute somebody in, it must be the straight substitution in that order. So if you substitute for your 6th hitter, that person has to go into that spot in the lineup, and the other one has to come out. If you do round robin, you can rotate your defense positions as is, and it really doesn't matter. So totally up to you guys, but we do recommend doing that. But whatever you decide to do is fine with us. At this age group as well, drop third strike, they must actually take the batter or throw the ball to first base to get them out. So the drop third strike rule is in effect on this one. That is really the only difference there. 13 through 15. So our 13-year-olds, 2 years ago, we decided to, instead of having our 12s moving to 13s, instead of having them play at 60-90, it's a very tough transition. We've now moved that to 54-80. So the pitchers will pitch from 54. The bases will be set at 80, and that's a much easier transition. We've gotten fantastic feedback from the last 2 years of the teams that have played in this. So we're going to continue with that. There are, I believe, only 3 or 4 fields that we have dedicated to that. So you'll be playing as 13-year-olds on only probably 4 fields. But just so you're aware of all that, because we don't have very many pegged at 80 feet. These 13 and 14, 15s will play double headers. So you'll play once a week, 2 games a night. It could be depending on it may vary. You may not play every Monday. It might be a Wednesday, but just be aware. Also, the other thing to remember is early in the season, some of our fields do not have lights, and until we have our longer daylight, we may start games at 5 o'clock. So just be cognizant of that early in the season. Make sure you're checking your schedule, because if we don't have lights, we want to make sure we can try and get those 2 games in. As we get to the midpoint of the season, we'll be all right. We'll start them at 5:30. 13 to 15 goes up to 7 innings. So just know that you're playing 2 7-inning games at that point. Again, round robin batting is not mandatory, but we do still recommend it. Again, do what you want with that if you so choose. There are some Q&As on the last portion of this that kind of goes through if you wanted to use the 10th player. So if you're only going to bat 9 using EH and whatnot, there are some question and answers on that as well. At this age group, and I actually didn't touch on this, bats. For the 12 and unders, as long as it has a USA sticker on it, that is a perfectly legal bat. Doesn't matter how long it is, doesn't matter what the drop is. At 12U, as long as it has a USA sticker on it, it's legal. 13 and 14, 15, if it's a USA sticker bat, again, perfectly legal. The additional thing to that is if they do choose to use a BD core bat, they are allowed to do that at the 13 and up. And metal cleats are allowed once you get to the 13-year-old level as well. I think that's all my highlights.
Okay. So another thing too that we've come across is when it comes to the bats, the USSSA bats are not legal. So you cannot use the USSSA bats. So I just want to make sure that that's noted. We are also doing coaches meetings for all the other programs as well. So everyone is on the same page with rules, and the same questions will be answered there as well. So now we will go to our questions. So thanks everyone for sending those in. So 1 second, I'll pull those up. All right, let's see here. If we already have a team and game changer team manager, we have to make another team? That's a good question. You shouldn't have to. So Chase, what we'll do is we'll talk to you outside of this meeting and get that answer for you. So if you imported a team, you should be good. But if you already have a team listed in game changer team manager, then we'll talk with our website provider to see if there's a way to sync that up. If we don't have a coach allocated to our team, who should I contact to get added? We will. What we'll do is we send another email out to all the parents to see if anyone can step up. We do have coaches education out there for any new coach, so they don't have to feel like they don't know anything and that they're hurting the players. There's a lot of resources out there and on our website that we can help that coach get to where he needs to be to develop the players properly. So we do recognize that your team doesn't have a coach, and we'll work on a solution as soon as possible for that.
Sorry, can I clarify that question? We have a coach assigned, they're just not allocated in the roster, so it doesn't show up in game.
Okay, no, perfect. So
that's on our end. That's on our end. So yeah, and we're in the process of allocating our coaches. So some may have been. There's a few that have not yet. So that'll happen here most likely tomorrow. So if they did sign up, we will have them allocated to the team.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. The 11U All-Star Attorney, that is July 22nd. Let's see here. So practice times. So when it comes to practices, it's on the coach if what day and time that you like to host that practice and what field. So I recommend talking to your parents and seeing what day and time works best for everybody, and then just finding an open field in Fargo and trying to stay with that as much as possible. If fields are taken up by another team, start working together if you can. So if two teams show up at the same park, maybe talk with the other coach and say, hey, for the first half hour, can you take the infield and we'll take the outfield, and then switch. I know fields are limited in Fargo, but just do your best to work with each other. Also utilize green space. There's a lot of drills that you can do green space. We actually have a list of drills that our board member Bill Eibach put together, which is a great list, and utilize that and utilize the green spaces as well.
And just to reiterate a point, I think Alex, you may have made this earlier, but we don't assign practice times because we are not allowed to. It's a Fargo Park District policy. Their fields are first come first serve when it comes to that. So that's why we don't allow or allot practice times.
Yep. Should the coaches be on the field during the defensive half of the inning with 7U?
Yes.
Yes. So the more instruction that you can give to your players at that age, the better. So if you can stand in the field, a great tool to use is, so say there's a runner on first, ask the kids, all right, ball hits you, where do you go with the ball? And keep asking those questions so they know how to answer them. And in turn, they'll take that into the game as well. And so yeah, for 8U, same thing. You can go ahead and be in the field for that.
And 9U.
And 9U, yep.
Just on practices, is there any way to reserve a field or whatnot, or is it just blatantly first come first serve?
Sure. Right now it's first come, first serve. If you do want to reserve a field, you would have to go and contact the Fargo Park District, and there is a
Okay.
fee that they charge. And what they do on that is they basically they hang a sign saying from whatever time you decide, say it's 7 o'clock, they hang saying it's field reserved at this time.
Okay, so just contact the Fargo Park District.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. Were the coaches packets mailed out? We did send them out to the head coaches. They're also on our website. So if you want to go to the coaches page on our website, you'll see the coaches packet there.
Nope, there it is.
Oh, there. Thank you. For 8U, when the kids pitch, are they pitching from the mound or closer like the coaches pitch? Good question.
Yep, very good question. We'd like them to throw from the mound. You know, I'll honestly, I'm okay if you have somebody that just can't do it, can't get it there from the mound. I would be totally fine with you moving them, because again, this is to kind of gear them up for the following year. They will be throwing from flat ground on this as well, just to be aware of that too. But try from the mound if they can't. Totally fine if you feel like you need to move them closer. I'm totally fine with that, as long as they're starting to learn the pitching process. Go ahead and move them forward.
All right, looks like that is.
That's
one
a good
came in.
question.
Yep. Yeah. So yes. So sorry, I didn't touch on this earlier. So when it comes to the coronavirus and guidelines, we've gotten the okay to go ahead and move forward as normal. We do recommend that people wear a mask, but they're not required by any means. So do the best you can when it comes to sanitizing. If during your parent meeting, even that's a thing that we had last year, people could take turns on providing hand sanitizer. Hopefully there's more out there now than there were last year. But there's no, as of right now, there's no COVID guidelines implemented. And that's across the league. However, if you go to, if you have a game in Moorhead, Minnesota might have different guidelines. We're waiting to hear back from the Moorhead Parks and Moorhead Baseball to see what those guidelines are. And for the teams that do have to travel to Moorhead, we will notify you as a coach, letting you know if you have to wear a mask or not. So good question there. So equipment can be picked up tomorrow if you haven't done so already. For anyone, you can pick those up tomorrow. Zach, are you on the line here?
Yes, I am.
All right. Is there anything you want to touch base on when it comes to equipment pickup?
No, I mean, we'll have equipment ready. We'll have practice balls. We'll go game balls. Please do not use those game balls for practices, because those are all you get. So if you use those, then you'd be out of game balls, and that would not be good. Other than that, I don't think so.
Zach, it's 3 to 8 tomorrow.
3 to 8, yep.
Yep. So I know, and I believe tomorrow we're scheduled 6U and 13, 14, 15. However, if you did not get your equipment on Wednesday, that's totally fine. You can certainly swing in tomorrow and pick it up as well. Yep, at the Metro Rec. Yes.
That's right. And please use the north side door. It'll be unlocked.
All right, perfect. It looks like that's all the questions that have been answered. If you have any questions after reading the rules even further, please send it to info@fargoyouthbaseball.com and we'll answer it as fast as we can. Other than that, go ahead.
I have one more thing. I just want to make sure, because I'm sure the question's going to come. The intent is to have the 11 and 12-year-old schedules done tomorrow. So those should be out tomorrow, barring any website issues. And then the rest of them you should see trickle out here next week. 13, 14, 15s, you should be getting your rosters here within the next day or two as well. So just be cognizant of that too. I know they went out for about 10 minutes yesterday. That was a mistake. So I think I've talked to most of you on that now for the 13, 14, 15. So we do have a few minor tweaks we got to fix here on our end yet, and then we will get the final out to everybody.
All right. As I mentioned before, this has been recorded. We'll post it on our website. And again, any other questions that you have, just please let us know. Thanks everyone for your time, and we look forward to having a fun season. Thanks.